Grace, I want to thank you for being with us. Straight out to Jen Casares, legal correspondent, joining us from the field. Jen Casares, what we are learning tonight is what many criminologists, including myself, have feared from the get-go. There were telltale signs. It was looking us in the face, Jen Casares. Now we are getting evidence this child not only has been murdered, but she has been dismembered. Her body parts spread across county after county.
You are right, Nancy, and it comes from legal documents. This is a motion to reduce bail. Legal documents filed in the last hours by Elisa Baker's defense team, and this is what it says. It confirms that Elisa Baker identified to law enforcement that little Zahra Baker was deceased, and Nancy, as you have said from the very beginning, that her little body was dismembered. And it was put at various sites around the county. Once they got that information, Nancy, they went and began to retrieve that potential evidence.
Out to the field, joining us in front of the Baker home, Natisha Lance. Why? How do we know? Why are we confirming tonight the body is dismembered? That they, with their forehands, tore that child apart and threw her in various locations. I'm not saying the telltale signs haven't been there from the get-go. I've seen them. I just didn't want to interpret them.
Well, Nancy, this is information that is coming from Elisa Baker's attorney in an effort to get her bond reduced. Now, in this, they write that not only was Zahra Baker deceased, but also her body was dismembered and scattered at various locations. They said that these locations were remote, so Elisa Baker would need to accompany police in order to find these things. Now, two of the locations police were able to locate human remains. We do know that bone that was found on Christie Road, where police have now confirmed DNA matches Zahra Baker's, and also partial human remains that were found just last week before this announcement made by police that they believe belonged to Zahra Baker. Now, Nancy, in addition to this, Elisa Baker also informed police of various items that they would be able to find at the Baker home right behind me, and also directed them to finding the prosthetic leg gel that was also found on Christie Road.
Joe said, Ellie, what more can you tell us? What about the mattress?
Well, right. Elisa Baker's attorneys also claim that she is the one who described that mattress, the mattress that was found at the landfill, that when they found it, it was consistent with what Elisa Baker said it would look like. Also, she specifically led them to the dumpster where the mattress was disposed.
Okay, Ellie Josted, it's my understanding that the mattress, which has been the center point, the centerpiece for a couple of weeks now, we just didn't get it. Right. It's my understanding that it was so critical to get this mattress that is why they spent day after day after night out there looking for the mattress. That's one of the first things Elisa Baker told them that they could verify. What do we know about the mattress?
Right, Nancy. Well, we unfortunately don't know what kind of forensic evidence was on that mattress. When they found it, police did say that they believe there's DNA evidence there.
It's my understanding, Jen Casares, that we know that the mattress was a flowered mattress. In fact, it was a flowered mattress. We have been, from our sources, told that Elisa Baker knew exactly what dump it was put in, what dumpster. Hence, they could determine exactly where in the dump site it was, that it was covered in DNA. In fact, it was covered in DNA. In fact, defense lawyers say they went out and they got this critical piece of evidence. I'm wondering if that was not the critical piece of evidence. I don't know. Maybe it was something they found in the home before police went and ripped up the home. We also know she pointed out certain pieces of furniture. They went and got the furniture, and it verified her story. But back to the mattress. What do we know? Let's analyze it, Jean.
Yeah.
Was the mattress where they dismembered her? There. I put it out there.
That's right. That's exactly right, Nancy. That is exactly what I was thinking. You know, Nancy, you and I cover dismemberment cases on Court TV. We know what happens. We know the blood, the amount of blood that's involved with that. We know that they executed a search warrant in the home. They got the drains in the home, then the sinks in the home.
You know, Jen Casares, and just thinking, you know, the mom, the stepmother is, the P.S. the bio mom, to my understanding, I'm going to find out in a moment, has gone back to Australia. The stepmom is spouting off all this information in her bid to implicate Adam Baker, but Jen Casares, if she knows all that, she had to be right there. If she's not the devil. She's in bed with the devil. So what do I care?
Well, it's called party to a crime, legally party to a crime, but this may be trying to save her life.
Tell me again about the mattress. I want to analyze that.
All right, well, first of all, we saw a mattress being taken out of the home in plastic. And then the next thing we know, they're at a landfill looking for a mattress, and they found some. They finally admitted that was the piece of evidence that was critical to this case that they were looking at. They collected that mattress. We don't know what they found, but we've heard DNA.
Okay, let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. Natisha, we get the mattress that we now realize how critical it is from what we are deducing. That may have been where this child was dismembered by her father and her stepmother. But then right after that, it all starts falling like dominoes. They take Elisa Baker out of the jailhouse. She goes to these various locations. Then suddenly they find the prosthetic leg. But tonight we find out that it was a gel that they found. Explain.
That's right, Nancy. Remember, they had to go seeking these medical records from Australia in order to make the identification on the prosthetic leg. But what this document says is that police located the gel liner for the prosthetic leg, and it was Elisa Baker who led them to that gel liner. Now, also, Nancy, this whole thing started to unfold on October 22nd. That is when, according to this document, Elisa Baker went to her attorneys and told them that she knew details about Zahra Baker's death as well as her disappearance. They also informed the investigator working with the defense team, and then at that point, that is when they were able to corroborate that with this key piece of evidence. The next day, they contacted the district attorney's office and told them that they were willing to cooperate and go forward with more information with this case.
Okay, let's go back through the timeline. Do it again, Ellie Josted. Let's get it clear.
Okay, well, it is October 22nd when Elisa Baker tells her attorneys that she knows about the disappearance and death of Zahra Baker. That next day, they contacted the disappearance, or they were able to determine that night that it was reliable evidence. Early that morning, they found some piece of evidence they believed was key. They went to the DA's office, told them that she was willing to cooperate. The next evening, by that time we're up to October 24th, that is when Elisa Baker starts talking. Through her attorneys, she begins telling police locations to check. The next day after that, she's taken with police to specific locations where she told them what to look for and where they would be able to find it.
With us right now, special guest Mark Class, president and founder Class Kids Foundation. He's joining us from San Francisco. Weigh in, Mark.
Well, you know, it reminds me of a very famous quote that that all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. And it seems like good people let this little girl down every step of the way, and that in fact evil did triumph. And now that evil, Mrs. Baker, for her to think for a minute that by implicating herself in the murder, the dismemberment, and the disposal of this poor little disabled girl should somehow qualify her for a reduced bond, either her or her lawyers, is absolutely ludicrous. I don't even know what kind of a parallel universe these people must be living in.
I'm stunned that she goes and tells cops where the pieces of this child are, and then she turns around and wants her bond reduced over my cold, dead body. With me right now, Brittany Bentley. She is a relative of Elisa Baker and a friend of this child, Zahra Baker. She's joining us in Hickory, North Carolina at the Baker home. Miss Bentley, your friend, your relative, Elisa Baker, has told police where parts
oh, this is the one that lied,
of a dismembered child is, and it is being confirmed as we go to air right now. What is your response?
I'm sick to my stomach that somebody could be capable of doing this. I knew Lisa was a bad person. Nobody could ever predict, imagine this was going to happen. Now that I found out the way that it happened, the dismemberment and everything, I'm angry. At this point now, I'm very angry.
When you say now that you have found out, what is it that you believe you found out?
I I believe that Lisa did it. I believe Adam helped cover it up. You know, they found, you know, parts of her body. It just makes me sick that he's walking the streets right now and not behind bars.
Brittany Bentley, was there never a red flag of warning to anybody that this child was being abused? You don't just one day decide to dismember your baby girl. It doesn't work like that. Nobody saw anything?
A lot of people saw things, and nobody came forth. Nobody is still coming forth and really telling. Other than DSS was called by her daughter and me, and I heard other people had called. That's about it. A lot of people knew.
Family and Children's Services were called. Cops were called till they got tired of taking the calls. And tonight, as we go to air, we learned that not only does stepmommy tell police where this child's dismembered body can be found, she goes into court in front of God and everybody and asks for her bond to be reduced. May she rot in hell.
This is Brittany Bentley, who was the one that came on early when Zahra was reported missing, and stated that she called DCF and her mother called and everybody called, and turned around and stated that she never called and neither did her mother, and that she admitted she was a drug addict. I don't understand why she's on the show and why she said she called DCF when she didn't. She admitted she didn't. Oh, I guess I have to watch the rest of the show because that makes no sense. She's all dressed up for TV too.